baseline though. Greetings, Earthlings. There are some basic things you need to know about typography when you're becoming a graphic designer, and just like becoming a doctor, you do need to know the anatomy of that bod. Cheers to that. I'm not just becoming a graphic designer, I'm becoming a doctor of design. You gotta understand all the curves and how they relate and work together. I find it kind of funny that some of the typography anatomy uses human terminology like lobe, ear, neck, leg. Whoever was naming these was like, yeah, we'll just basically talk about typography like they're people. And then halfway through they're like, f that, this is architecture now, that's an arch. And that's a 2-story letter. Actually back to humans, cause that's a spine. Letters are basically humans, right? But maybe the typography should be plants now because that's a stem. But the inside of the E has to be called an I. It can't just be called a hole. Not like anyone's ever gonna get that confused with I. Or I. Or I. Or I. They probably called the inside of the C a stress because that's what my spine looks like after working on the computer all day. An imaginary line drawn from the top to the bottom of a glyph, usually the O, is called an anus. Axis. Axis. It's an axis, not an anus. I'm sorry, the round, puckered shape of the O just really reminds me of an axis. Definitely an axis. And you are going to have to prepare yourself for some awkward moments because a lot of the time talking about typography can get pretty sexual. Because sometimes you just have to point out the thickness of the stroke on that D. I'm not a typography designer and I don't work in a type firm or anything like that, but as a in-house graphic designer, if I'm being completely honest with you, I don't use half of this terminology half of the time. But let's still talk about it because why else would I be making this video? Probably to talk about tittles. My absolute favorite typography terminology is the tittle. Yes, you heard me right, the tittle. I don't think I've ever had a graphic design meeting where I've actually talked about tittles, and if I tried to bring it up, there's no way I could keep a straight face. But it's a real thing, and I commend whoever created this language. Thank you so much for giving us the tittle of the world. It's the little things. I wonder what a tittle twister would be like. I don't know what was more of a sexual experience in college, drawing naked models in studio class, or my professor talking about the stroke of the D and those tittles. Probably drawing the naked model. Yeah, definitely that. That for sure. It's anatomy. There's the crossbar, the tail, the stress, the apex, predator, finial, overhang, shoulder, eye, hook, ball. Yes, even letters have balls. Balls and tittles, okay? And they have lobes, and they have ears, and they have necks, and they have strokes. Thank you for joining me in Typography 101, and I hope that you've learned a lot from your design doctor, and I'm glad that you've stuck through this course even though I have an anus axis right in the middle of my forehead. Bye guys. My typography outfit game right now is very strong. I look like a typography squid.